The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths, in particular, Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother, Franklin. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Greetings, all you chainsaw maniacs out there, Leatherface lovers. It is your humble host of horror, Benjamin Dutil, for the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, a South Jersey Horror Podcast and Horror Heathen YouTube channel honored guest, Mr. Alan Danziger, which you all know as Jerry from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper's version from 1974. Now, quick bio on this upstanding actor who I think is one of the most amazing actors around. One of the main characters of the movie, born in the Bronx, New York. You graduated from City College of New York with a Bachelor in Science of Social Psychology and Social Work in 1964 and in 1970. You graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with a master's degree in social psychology and master's degree in social work. You love education, man. In 1969, you made your movie debut in the movie Eggshells. 5 years later, you played Jerry in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, your second and final role at that time. This is what I'm getting from IMDb, which I know is probably not true. So at the time, it was your second and final role. But it looks like you have starred in other movies like Moxina, Cannibal Comedian, Storage Locker, and another one being filmed called Dinner with Leatherface. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the awesome Alan Danziger, you all know as Chainsaw Jerry. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm having the time of my life.
Especially, I bet you are.
That I'm still vertical after all these years. So every day above ground, I'm not kidding. It's a good day, man. We're a vanishing breed. They're losing us every year, every few months. Somebody's getting sick or whatnot. So as Mickey Mantle said, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself.
I agree. It's so, believe it or not, I actually watched the movie again last night just for the hell of it because it's a masterpiece. And I know your character in the movie plays a very significant role. You're the van driver. Of course, you play the most significant role in the movies. But the problem I have with your role in your character is that when you're driving the van, you have no idea what the hell's going on in the van whatsoever while you're driving.
Right. I have no idea.
You keep looking back like, what the hell's going on back there?
Exactly. And I was driving, I mean? It's not like today where they don't even drive. They put them on a conveyor belt or whatever, and it's all fake. This was the real deal.
Yes. Back in the 1970s when filming was actually filming, like actual filming movies, not this AI crap you see anymore or these days. It's all practical special effects, which I love.
You're totally correct.
So I would love to take this opportunity to talk to you about your role as Jerry in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So during this movie, knowing what was going to happen, after reading the script, what was going through your mind while filming the movie?
I guess total disbelief, that this was even happening, because I mean, I wasn't an actor, and a lot of the reviewers who will let you know that, guys that have, had a good time. One guy referred to me as this 30-year-old disco stew looking dude, you know. So, and that was one of the better reviews. But yeah, I mean, we just thought it was, I mean, they were changing it, you know, every day was something different and whatnot. So, but when I read the script, I mean, I was mesmerized, you know, it captivated me. And I had a good time until my demise, you know what I mean? It was, for me, it was just a lot of fun. I didn't particularly like getting killed, you know, and as you know, I get hit with a sledgehammer.
Yes. After you find,
now we're talking about 50 years later and I'm still getting headaches. You know, so this was not an easy situation for me.
I guess Gunnar Hansen hit really hard to sledgehammer.
Oh, he wanted to hit me bad. I don't know if I pissed him off or what the problem was, but he took a good shot. He took several shots because the first shot, I got so freaked out because I had not seen Leatherface.
Right.
In fact, if you know, I've said this before. I had them blindfold me, you know, prior to my death. And so I was sitting right outside, you know, getting myself worked up with what is now known as the Stanislavski method. And so they yell action, they take the blindfold off. And so I'm going in, I'm seeing everything for the first time. And then, you know, the freezer deal. And then I turn around and Leatherface comes in. I'm so freaked out. I went screaming out of there. They had to call cut, you know, and Tobe had to come over and said, Alan, that's one of the best screams I've ever heard. But you got to wait for him to come into the frame with the hammer. So they had to do it a few times. And I was still so freaked out that two guys in the back of me holding my pants lapels, whatever those, you know, they pulled me down because I would have been bolting out of there. That's how freaked out I was. I mean, it was pretty intense.
So it was like an actual genuine scare.
Yeah, and I think somebody said it's number 8 on all-time scares where the actor didn't know what the hell was going to happen to him. So I'm number 8. That's a defining moment for me.
Jesus Christ! If I would have turned around and see Leatherface with a sledgehammer, I think I would have shit myself. I'm just saying.
Well, unfortunately, I wore the pens at the time.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love this strategy, and I'm out of focus here. What's going on? Okay, camera, work. Okay. I love the strategy. Tobe Hooper is one of my favorite directors because, you know, he did The Shining as well. And no, wait, that was Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, do The Shining. No.
But yeah, he's one of my favorite directors. And I actually had a friend come over last night to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie last night, and she told me it was one of the most boring movies ever. I looked at it, I was like, what?
Yeah. Cross her off your list. You know what I mean? Don't invite her anywhere.
I'm like, well, it's not for everybody, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it very much because I keep watching it.
There's not a lot of blood there. You know what I mean? No. And it's and there are a lot of funny parts to that movie. There really is. You know, there's some dark humor and stuff like that. But it stands the test of time. You know, I mean, we're talking about 50 years, and now this is our 50th anniversary, and we're hopscotching all over the country. You know, for our 50th anniversary.
Yeah, it's big for you guys right now. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my next question for you is, what was it like to experience the thrills and the rush of being in this type of horror movie?
Well, it took like 20 years or something like that, because when the movie came out, I mean, at first I was cutting out all these articles, you know, in Variety. I mean, the movie had a bullet. We were going up the charts. I thought that I hit the brass ring, you know, that I'll be in retirement. Unbeknownst to me, the distributors were mafia. And so all the money was gone by the time we realized what was happening. And it took several years to get the film back. So there was nobody knew anything about the movie or how good it was until I was around 60. You know, it was over 20 years later when Gunnar invited me for a reunion of cast members. They wanted to do a Chainsaw reunion, and it was at Cinema Wasteland, and it was in 2004. Ken Kish's Cinema Wasteland. I had never been to one of these things before, and I was a little apprehensive. I thought I'd be meeting serial killers or wannabes, and it turned out these were the nicest people you know you could imagine. They just love this genre of horror, and and they were just great. I guess they saw me as fresh meat, so I was new to the scene, but I had the best time. And from that time on, I started, doing these horror conventions and having a ball. I mean, people are so nice. They treat me with so much respect, and it's making my latter years the best that they could be.
Well, they should, because the movie is awesome. I mean, to me, in my opinion, it's one of the best movies ever made.
Mm.
And the acting it felt so real while
It was
watching
real. I mean, it was not acting. I mean, this was us, doing. I mean, a lot of the lines in that movie are my own lines. They just
Really?
yeah, make it up. I mean, yeah, all kinds of stuff, that I say is just stuff that I just came up with, and it worked. It worked in this movie. I mean, one of my favorite lines that very few people pick up on is when we're at the gas station scene is absolutely one of my favorites, and the reason is we pull in to get gas, and then what's his name? Jim Sedow comes out and walks over and says, we got no gas or whatnot, and I inadvertently hit the windshield wiper, and it sprayed all this soapy water down on his face, and he's trying to deliver the lines, and there's soapy water. Bill Kirk in the front seat. We were gone. We had to shoot it over and over. We just couldn't get it together. So much so that Tobe got very upset and he walked off the set. And I believe Kim Hinkle had to finish shooting it. But that's still one of my favorite scenes, the gas station scene.
I wish they would have kept that in the movie. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but as I go in to get gas, I say, you think this place has room service?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That's an original.
I'm going to get barbecue. I'll be right back. So I don't know if anyone else noticed in the movie, but Franklin, he's eating a so-called sausage.
Right.
We all know that it's a certain appendage, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And to tell you, Franklin, Paul Partain, he was such a good actor that we all hated him. You know what I mean? We wanted him to die. That's how good of an actor. He just was so annoying, in the movie. And then I met him at this convention. He was the sweetest guy. It was wonderful. He unfortunately died too early.
Yeah, I was hoping to get him on my show too, but
yeah. I mean, he's gone. Marilyn's gone. Gunnar is gone. I mean, these were the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And Gunnar, I mean, we never spoke. And then after the movie was over, we became great friends, and I miss him almost every day. And in fact, he stayed with me here in Austin before he moved to Maine. So we got to be really close. And when he wrote the book, Chainsaw Confidential, he came out and stayed at my bed and breakfast that I had in Luling. And I just had a great time with him. Besides being funny, and he's just so intelligent, so smart, So
I think one of the horror magazines deemed Franklin, the character, one of the most annoying characters in horror.
Probably the most. The most. I'd vote for that.
So was it really hot filming that movie? Because Franklin's sweating in the van, and
it was Africa hot. That's how hot.
Oh shit.
And if you can picture a 1970, 72 van, blacked out, no AC, 8 people in the van, plus lights, plus Tobe with a cigar in the Eric von Stroheim type of thing. And it was brutal. It was brutal. And you could see it. I mean, I think that's why people like this movie so much. It's almost not even like a movie. It's almost like a documentary, and it has that gritty feel to it all the way around. In fact, after every 3 or 4 shots, the girls had to go into the makeup trailer, get their hair done and whatnot, and cool off. And I'm watching this happen, and I said, wait a second, they got a good thing going. I'm going to slip out and get into the trailer myself and have them work, do something. No sooner do I get into the trailer and I sit down, they come running over and they say, there's nothing we can do for you, Alan. Get out of here. So that was my one time going into the makeup trailer.
That's one thing I want to know, is like, were they spraying water on people? Was like actually legitimate hot?
There was nothing to spray. It's just
natural sweat. Oh my God. Whew. Ugh, God bless it.
But that was really the easy part. The hard part I was not involved in is the shooting, the scene, the dinner scene, because it was
Yeah.
so hot. The clothes were, the sweat from the people. I mean, people were throwing up during that. During
I've
that,
been I've been to East Texas, so I know
yeah,
how hot it is.
it was awful. Oh, I mean, but compared to that, to what it is now, that's
Yeah,
like a walk in the park. It's like
yeah,
fall compared to
yeah,
what it is now.
yeah. Global warming, all that crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, the other I think the other annoying character in that movie, the hitchhiker.
Oh,
I mean, it had to be crazy with him in the van, right? I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I wasn't aware of that scene with the gunpowder and the fire and stuff. I mean, that was crazy. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that that was happening.
no shit.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. That was that's like apparently I thought that was like something they just decided to throw in the movie because it didn't seem like something was in the script.
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of stuff like I say was changed, on almost a daily basis when they were in Stone. There was a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of drug things going on.
We
I
just
won't
keep
get drugged that.
we keep that on the down low.
Right, right. On the very down.
So were there besides being hit in the head with the sledgehammer, were there any other scenes that were too extreme for you to film?
No, because I mean that was really the only difficult thing. The other, was driving, uh, and then the going into the house. I mean that was beautiful. That was beautifully shot. When I'm going and yelling for Kirk, you
Yeah,
know, and they waited for the sun to be setting. It's the dolly shot. I mean that's really a beautiful. That's a beautiful set, beautiful scene, beautiful shots. Daniel Pearl was unbelievable. He was such a young guy. That was his really first movie. Did a beautiful job. There was a lot of talent in that movie. Just it's just there.
that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, but we were to talk about Franklin being the most generic, and the general consensus says that Franklin is the most annoying character, and you evidently agreed.
Oh
So,
yeah. I wanted to kill him myself. I think everybody wanted to kill him.
I mean, at one point, I actually felt sorry for him, but
Why? What? Yeah, I know, but he brought it on himself.
so how did it feel to be killed by such an iconic character as Leatherface?
How did it feel?
Yeah. Besides having a headache 50 years later.
Well, I mean, it's there. Everybody, notices or knows me or whatnot because of this movie. It's amazing. And when they find out who I am, I mean, now I'm a geezer. You know what I mean? So it's like what? I mean, so when I do these conventions, a lot of times I feel like a hooker in Amsterdam. Because they're walking by, and say, "What? Who's this old guy?" I said, "Yeah, but that was me 50 years ago. Give me a break."
And you look a lot so different too, which is
Yeah, I mean, I had the fro, the whole deal.
the glasses,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shirt, the bell bottoms.
Yeah, I got the bell bottoms. The shirt. Unfortunately, I loaned to Ron Bozeman, who was the producer, and he said, "Alan, we have a long shot. You don't need to be in that scene. I'll wear your shirt." And I don't know what I was not thinking. I said, "Sure, you can borrow my shirt," and never got that shirt back.
Oh man.
And now a fan actually found material that resembles what I wore. So I have a shirt for special situations.
Okay.
I will wear, but I
Nice.
couldn't. That shirt would be like the shoes Judy Garland wears in The Wizard of Oz.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
No, that's show business.
So you may not know this, but after watching the movie several times, I was told there are a lot of plot holes in this movie. And I tried to catch them all and I couldn't catch any of them. So did Tobe Hooper reveal any plot holes at all?
Not to me.
Okay.
Not that I mean, there are people I guess dissected, frame by frame by frame, and maybe there are, but nobody's told them to me.
Wow. It's just stuff, just a random stuff I read on the internet, like fan theories and all this other crap going on. So I thought I would ask you since you were in the movie.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, but in some ways I had a I wasn't that involved because I was working. I was directing a camp for kids with mental challenges and whatnot, so I
uh,
couldn't really hang out. You know, we were on a camp. I was doing camping with the kids and stuff like that, and I just couldn't. I couldn't hang out to see all the other stuff that some of the other actors maybe have seen. Although I
okay.
want to say one of the best things for me was meeting John Henry Falk, and he's in a bit scene at the cemetery. He's in the pickup,
Okay.
and I remember hearing him. He was like a raconteur and storyteller, and just an amazing man. And I listened to him in New York on a radio show called The Barry Gray Show. So that was a thrill for me to meet this guy.
That was
And
the guy that was the guy with the corn pipe in the back of the pickup truck.
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had had that deep Texas accent.
Yeah.
But he was an amazing guy. I think he was blacklisted. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. He was truly
Wow.
a terrific guy.
Nice. So is there anything that you could say about the movie while it's being filmed, like any behind the scenes secrets, any stuff you could spill?
No, no. I mean, there was no sex in the movie. Sadly, I mean, and that's I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad. I'm saddened that there wasn't back then. I mean, there's no even hugging or kissing or anything in the movie. So it just I don't know, just four people, and Franklin on this trip, and then just bizarre things happen. So yeah, I mean, I do remember Toby calling me in to see some of the rushes. He called me in one time, uh, and he said, "Alan, what do you think? What do you think I could do to improve the movie?" And I said, "Have the seats facing away from the screen." And he didn't like that, so he never asked me to come back.
That is actually a grand idea. The scene's face with the screen. Just turn it one big psychological project and scare the crap out
I
of
mean,
people.
I think the movie really what happened is when after it was shot and they edited and the name changed to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those were brilliant things. And the tightening, what Toby did with the editing and the sound effects and the score, all of that came together and it became a brilliant movie.
I agree 110%. I
Quentin
mean,
Tarantino calls it a perfect movie.
it
What
is.
what more can you say?
And the acting was great. I'm not gonna lie. I love the acting because even for me, I like old classic movies. I love the 70s, the 80s because the acting is legit. It's legitimate. And so, and that's one thing I enjoy about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the screams are real, the reactions are real, and not like it's more like So it's fantastic.
I
And
agree. I agree, Ben.
you, oh my goodness, your character had not the worst death, but the most surprising death.
I think I won an award for a great death or whatnot. I think what's this guy, Janice? He does kill count. If you haven't seen his review, you should see that. It's hilarious. I love it.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to check that out.
Chainsaw 74 Chainsaw Kill Count. He's very funny. It's terrific, and he's the guy that referred to me as this 30-year-old disco stew dude. I didn't know what he was talking about. It's of a Scooby Doo character.
I thought Disco Stew was on The Simpsons, but anyway, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, I guess The
Yeah,
Simpsons. We're
yeah.
right. The Simpsons. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
so
and I mentioned this when the movie came out in '74. My parents were living in Florida, which is the law. You have to move there from New York, and they took my aunt and uncle to see the movie in '74. It was shown in a porno theater.
oh no,
It was a double feature, and the second feature was Debbie Does Dialysis.
Debbie does dialysis. What in
Okay,
the world?
I like to tell that joke.
Oh my goodness.
And then my mom, just as I'm walking into the house, she starts screaming in her native language, which was no language. She just grunted, and then they called me after they saw the movie to make sure I was still alive. So, but that's in '74.
Oh my goodness. So besides the film Dinner with Leatherface, could you tell us anything about that movie coming up, or
I
is
don't
it
know
like
anything about it.
really?
You're
Because
it's the first time I'm hearing about it.
it's on IMDb. It says now filming dinner. It has you in the cast.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
Dinner with Leatherface.
that's news to me. I mean, I have some movies. I have two movies that are coming out. One
Okay.
is out now called. In fact, here's the. This is the poster. No, it's called The Storage Locker.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I actually won an award for this. It's my comeback role after 50 years. I'm returning, an older and wiser person, but I'm back. And then there's a movie that's won a bunch of awards, and I did the voiceover, like an homage, like John Larroquette does in Chainsaw, and that
Yeah.
movie called Cannibal Comedian.
Right. Okay. So you
So,
won awards for those.
yeah, so keep an eye out for that. And then the one that I'm really hopefully will is this, and it's called The Weed Hacker Massacre.
I can't see anything. It's not
Don't
showing
see
anything.
it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm one of the producers, and I actually have a part in it.
Okay.
I believe I play a sheriff
Okay.
in this, so I'm excited about it. I hope it's good. Otherwise, I got to go into hiding.
Your character's name's Nigeria, is it?
No, no. And then also this, well, you won't be able to see it, but the video game is also out, and that's doing. I hear it's doing.
Yes, I've played the video game already several times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
I love it. It's great.
super. We're not even in it. This is like it's like a prequel. We're
Yeah.
not even on the scene. So if it's a hit, hopefully they'll bring us into it. Jerry,
Yeah, because the victims, I don't recognize the victims in the game.
yeah, no,
At
nobody
all, so.
recognizes them.
So,
Just generic victims.
but I've already played every family member. I haven't played the victims yet. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to the pre-release party and people were having a ball. You know, so everybody seems to love it. They did a good job.
so does that? I guess that's something you could add on to your resume. Is like, as soon if they add your character to the game,
Mm.
they might ask you to come in and do the voice for your character. So,
Hopefully, yeah. But I've got enough. I mean, just what's happening lately is just it's terrific. I'm having a good time.
because I love I can't I remember his name, the guy who played the cook in the movie, but
Wait, the cook in the movie?
yeah, the cook.
Oh, Jim Seadow.
Yeah, yeah. I love his voice
In the
in
door.
that movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat nappy hair, little kid. I was like, what the
You
fuck?
think this is a party? I mean, there's some funny lines in that movie.
Yeah, there is, and I laugh at his lines sometimes when I watch the movies. It's hilarious. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's any other upcoming projects that you could talk about besides the one you just mentioned.
Well, I mean, the one that I'm really will be this new movie, The Weed Hacker Massacre, because we're going to be shooting the trailer for it in a couple of months, and then next month I'll be in Colorado for a convention, and then I'll be in New York and Houston in October, in Canada also in October, and then I think the world uh, uh, official 50th anniversary will be in Ontario, Canada, in February. So many good things are happening. It's amazing.
50 years later, it still has an impression in the horror community.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
I know. And they use a clip of us for the 3D movie. With
No kidding.
yeah. And I got more money for not being in the movie than I got for being in the movie.
Define irony.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you more as an actual person and not as Jerry. So thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, and I appreciate the talk that we had, and I hope the fans enjoy it.
I'm
And
sure they will.
my website is chainsawjerry.com. And on that, I've got all kinds of things. I've got my own beef jerky that people can purchase. It's Chainsaw Jerry's Killer Beef Jerky.
I'm right at chainsawjerry.com.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
I'm going to mention that.
And on the chainsaw blade, it says, "We were the meats." And then they can purchase, photos. I got my award-winning bobblehead, my talking bobblehead. So we have a lot of things for your, dancing and dining enjoyment.
I will definitely mention that in my description of the video and put that out to the world so they know to come visit your
let
website.
people know that, keep tuned in for news about the Weed Hacker Massacre.
I'm going to mention that as well.
Dynamite.
So
thank you so much. It was a pure pleasure talking with you.
It's been a fantastic interview, and I'm so glad. My heart's still racing because I was so excited that you agreed to do this. I was like, yes, finally, someone from the golden ages.
Yeah, for the golden age, that's right. And while I'm still vertical, and I'm not drooling on myself, so why not? I mean, now we got Mitch McConnell freezing. I mean, people in our age, they want to put us away, so I'm glad that I'm still coherent.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chainsaw Maniacs, Leatherface lovers, Mr. Alan Danziger, aka Chainsaw Jerry. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And I wish you the best of luck in your career and the movies that you're coming out with. And I'm definitely going to mention chainsawjerry.com. I'm going to check it out myself, and I'm going to go purchase something right now.
Dynamite. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Take care.